Hello friends. In this video we will see how the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine works. Oxford is obviously belongs to the Oxford University, and AstraZeneca is a British Swedish biopharmaceutical company, and they have developed a vaccine against the coronavirus. My name is Dr. Afzal and you are watching Dr. Afzal Medical Sciences. Let's talk about this topic. First of all, let's look at the name of the vaccine. Initially, it was named ChAdOx1 nCoV-19. Why nCoV-19? Because the initial name of the coronavirus was novel coronavirus 2019. Why we call it CH? Because Oxford has taken the adenovirus which causes influenza or flu in chimpanzee, and they use the adenovirus as a vector. Why they use the adenovirus of the chimpanzee? First, human's immune system doesn't know anything about the adenovirus which causes the flu in the chimpanzee, because it has never came across this adenovirus. And so CH stands for chimpanzee, AD stands for adenovirus, and they have genetically modified this adenovirus in a way that it will never cause any symptom in the, or it's very unlikely for the adenovirus to cause any symptom in the human beings. And Ox stand for the Oxford. So it was the initial name of the vaccine. Nowadays we also call it AZD1222. Why they had used the adenovirus? There is another reason for it, because Oxford University has already worked using the adenovirus for a vaccine against the Ebola. So they were already prepared when the pandemic of the coronavirus came up. Now there is a problem. Coronavirus, these are RNA virus. It has got a single-stranded RNA and it's covered by this membrane. But adenovirus, which causes flu or influenza in the chimpanzee, it's a DNA virus. It has got a double-stranded DNA. So now there will be a problem how messenger RNA virus contents can be shifted inside the human body using adenovirus, which has got a DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid, which is double-stranded, as a vector. So normally what happens that deoxyribonucleic acid can be converted into the ribonucleic acid. This double-stranded thread can be converted into the single-stranded thread of RNA, and the process is known as transcription. This is what happens normally in our cells all the time, that our genetic information is shifted towards the ribosome with the help of the making of RNA. But this process can be reversed with the help of an enzyme known as reverse transcriptase, using which RNA can be converted back to deoxyribonucleic acid. This is what we use in the reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction whenever we take swabs from the nasopharynx of a patient suffering from the COVID or any other problem. Then obviously coronavirus is a RNA virus. We convert that RNA back into the DNA, and then we make a lot of copies of that DNA, that's why we call it the polymerase chain reaction. And because we use the technique of the reverse transcription, so that's why we denote it with the RT, or the reverse transcription. So what did scientists at the Oxford University did? They first genetically engineered adenovirus in a way that they took out the portion of the DNA which was related with the replication, so they made it inert. It will be impossible for this adenovirus, which they took from the chimpanzee, to cause any infection or replicate in the human cells. Rather, they took portion of the RNA from the coronavirus, which encoded for the spike protein. They did the reverse transcription, converted it into the double-stranded DNA, and then placed it inside the genetic material of the adenovirus. Now this adenovirus, which used to infect chimpanzee, now is ready to work as a vector to transmit this portion of the genetic material which actually belongs to the coronavirus, and it only encodes for the spike protein to humans as a vaccine. Now they made a vaccine using this technology. Now the vaccine has been prepared and it was injected intramuscularly to a volunteer. Now what happens, let's see. This is adenovirus, which contains not only its own DNA, which is now inert, is not replicable, but also contains the genetic information from the coronavirus to make the spike protein. It goes very near to this human cell. Now this human cell has got this cytoplasm, and this is the nucleus of the human cell, which contains its own genetic material in the form of the DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid, which is double-stranded. Now what happens in the next step, that this adenovirus, with the help of certain proteins located on the surface of the human cell, it attaches itself, and then our cell engulfs it and makes a balloon or a bubble around this adenovirus. Now this adenovirus of the chimpanzee is encircled by a bubble which was created by our own cells. Now that bubble which was created by our cell fuses with the outer layer of the nucleus, and then the adenovirus, it injects its DNA inside the nucleus of the human cells. But that DNA, which also contains part of the genetic material of the coronavirus, does not become or incorporates into the human DNA, but rather it from the DNA of the adenovirus, including the genetic material of the coronavirus, it forms the RNA, which we call the transcription. Now this RNA comes out of the nucleus in the form of the messenger RNA, and it was our main intention to send that genetic material of the coronavirus, which is used to make the spike protein inside the human cells. This is what did the Pfizer and the Moderna by creating a nanoparticle, which ultimately did the same purpose. Here we have used the adenovirus of the chimpanzee as a vector to send the messenger RNA in the form of the DNA, which will ultimately be converted into the messenger RNA inside the human cells. And the rest of the story is simple. Messenger RNA will be taken up by the ribosome of the human host cell, and it will be translated, and there will be formation of the spike proteins based on the message which was conveyed to ribosome through the vector. So this message came from the coronavirus, but this message only contained how to form the spike proteins. Once formed, these spike proteins, because they are the foreign elements, or even if they are not the foreign elements, what happens that our cells, they express these proteins on their surfaces on the major histocompatibility complex. If they belong to our body, our immune system will come, check their identity, and will go away. But if they are the foreign elements, as these basically don't belong to the human beings, so our immune system will be activated. It will start creating B cells, plasma cells, and antibodies against the spike proteins, and it will also activate the cytotoxic T cell, which will ultimately destroy these infected cells. So the aim or the purpose of this whole practice or exercise is to prime our immune system to generate antibodies and to create the memory B and T cells. So whenever in the future there is some assault by these coronaviruses, which have got these spicules in the form of the spike proteins, because these spike proteins, they'll unite to make the spike portion of the coronavirus, then the enemy finger blueprint will be available to our immune system, and it will immediately be attacked, neutralized, and killed. And this is how these vaccines work. So thank you so much guys for watching the video, and if you think the video is good, please like it. If you think it is shareable and it will help someone else, please share the video, and also subscribe the channel if you haven't done it yet. I'll keep on making these sort of the videos based on your response. Thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe, and stay blessed.